Hello there and welcome. So I'm going to start introducing a new offer in my work, which is to help my clients find the root cause of a health issue. So many of my clients have chronic issues that they've been living with for years and years. I had some chronic issues and I just couldn't make head or tail of it. I had worked with practitioners of all kinds, naturopaths, homeopaths, acupuncturist, doing my own EFT tapping, and I just couldn't make headway with some of my chronic issues, chronic health issues. And then I discovered this new tool. It's an analysis tool to help people really get to the bottom of what caused the dis-ease in the body in the first place. And it answers questions like, why me? Why now? Why do I have this issue now? Or exactly when it started? And how does it work that my body is just not able to heal from this? And the best way I found to introduce this new tool and to help people understand what really goes on in the body is to use this metaphor. So let me just get my tools here. I'm going to show you something. Can you see this leaf? Just notice the shape. It's nice and sort of smooth around the edges. It's a bit curled up by now because I picked it yesterday. And then notice this leaf. Can you see the difference on the edges of the leaf? Now I'm going to put the two together. You can see the one has got very smooth edges and the other one has got these spiky edges. They are both holly leaves, the holly plant here. There's lots of it here in the UK where I live. So what this holly tree does when it starts growing is it makes leaves like this. Nice round, smooth edges. And then it grows and grows. And along in the winter when there's not a lot of food around, come the deer. The deer gets hungry. They start eating the holly leaves in winter. And the tree doesn't much like it because if all its leaves get eaten, it's not going to survive, is it? So what the tree does is it says, wonder what I can do. I'm not going to survive if these deer keep eating all my leaves. So let me come up with a plan. I'll make my leaves really spiky and uncomfortable to eat so the deer will no longer want to eat me. So what this tree does is it adapts part of its characteristics to help the entire tree to survive. So, okay, a few leaves have been eaten in the past winter, but in order to survive, it's like an external stress that comes from the outside towards the tree, and the tree gets munched. And in order for the entire tree to survive, it's going to adapt itself, or a part of it, not the branches, not the stems of each leaf, just the leaf itself. So it adapts a part of itself in order to have the whole tree survive. So you can again just look at the difference. Same tree. These two leaves are from the same tree. So, what a mistake we would make if we said this is a diseased leaf. There's something wrong with the tree. Why is it doing this? It's not making a mistake. It's making an intelligent adaptation in order for the whole tree to survive. And thousands, millions of holly trees do that. So there's nothing wrong with any of those holly trees. They've adapted and they've helped themselves to survive. And that is exactly what happens in our bodies as well. The dis-ease that we're experiencing is what happens in our body when a part of our body is busy adapting to a stress from the outside. And a stress is something that we call a euden in my world, in the world that I work in, is an event that was unexpected, dramatic, isolating, and we had no strategy to deal with it. So those are the 4 letters of the acronym, UDIN, euden. So a Yuden came along, a shocking event that had high emotion. I felt isolated, even though there were people around me, and I had no strategy. I had absolutely no idea what to do with it. So it just came as a shock. And when that happens, there's a little something that happens in the brain and a little something that happens in an organ and the rest of our body, somewhere in the body, and then in the psyche as well. And then what happens is the body or that organ that is affected says, I wonder what I can do here. Or the whole body says that, I wonder what I can do here. I don't want to die of this shock. So what I'm going to do is adapt a part of me to help me cope with this shock. And then this organ is going to be affected a bit, like the holly tree that's now got the spiky edges. But the rest of me is going to survive. And that is exactly what happens in our body. So when we get a dis-ease, a spiky holly leaf, our body is really basically trying to get back to balance or to help the whole organism to survive. And there are different organs different organs will respond in different ways. And it's a whole science as to which organ responds in which way and what the symptoms are. And that is the new work that I'm offering right now, is to help people understand exactly what is happening in the organ that has the dis-ease and help us understand what is the biological purpose. Just like the leaf, it had a biological purpose for adapting the shape of that leaf and to make it very spiky and very unpleasant. And so inside of us, there are these biological reasons for an organ, or an organ can be your skin or a liver or a kidney or a breast or a lung or a throat, an eye. Every single part of us has this ability to adapt in the face of a big stress to help the organism to survive. And then the intention of that stressed out organ, if we can call it that way, is to get back to balance and to get back to health. And our bodies are made that way. It can. Exactly the way as when we get cuts, you have a paper cut, or you accidentally slice your finger open when you're busy cooking food, as I've done many times. You watch the blood seep out, and the next day your body, or the next minute actually, your body starts sending lots of fluid in that direction, lots of little white blood cells and extra blood supply and lymph and all sorts of fluids go to that area like little soldiers running there and going, I know what to do, I know what to do. And it starts healing that area. In a few days' time, it's all stuck back together. And then there's a scar, maybe a little scar or some scar tissue there, but you can use your finger again like normal. And that is the rest of your body's intention as well. It knows we are healing machines. Human beings have not survived for so many hundreds of thousands of years without having this capacity for our bodies to heal. And sometimes we just get stuck in a particular place in that healing process. And that is what my new work is going to do, to help you understand where it's getting stuck and what is happening and why this organ of yours is reacting in this way, why it's making the spiky holly leaves. I wonder also if you can understand that our bodies are part of nature, right? Human beings are just as part of nature as any animal. And if holly trees can be that intelligent to adapt without having to think about it, I wonder if you could imagine that our bodies, human beings' bodies, are just exactly as intelligent, and they have the capacity to make these adaptations as well to help us survive. So I'm very excited about this work, and if you have any questions, drop it underneath the video and I'll get back to you. Drop me an email, go to my Facebook page, go to my website, send an inquiry. it is very empowering to start understanding what is going on in our body, and that it is not making a mistake, certainly not attacking itself. Why on earth in nature have you ever seen that a tree attacks itself, or a fruit tree attacks itself? There is always biological purpose to what is happening in nature, and it's the very same thing in our body. So thank you for listening. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Have a lovely day.